All right, I'm your host, Stephen Vanover, here live on the Sports Talk Line Network, where we talk sports 24/7, 365. This is the Sports Talk Line Roundtable, and we're here tonight, and I am the whole table, but we actually might have Tom showing up here, Tom McAllister from New York. With COVID-19, all things are fluid. We also might have Nate No Remorse Dowdy showing up. We will see. But it's all right because we have a fantastic subject. And the subject of the day is Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. You may remember them, Super Bowl champions. That's right. Andy Reid's the coach. And he has an affinity for quarterbacks. And he turned around and took Patrick Mahomes, who he has on a rookie contract, which means he drafted him in the first round. He could drive him 5 years deep. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are doing with Dak Prescott. That's what a lot of teams have done. The example why they're doing this is, of course, Aaron Rodgers, who, because of his contract demands early and often and hard, and we're not going to get into why because, hey, let's set this bar right up front. NFL players have the right to demand as much money as they can get. This is a business, period. They sell you on the team stuff. Let me help you out right now. I don't think, other than maybe a Rooney, maybe a Young, maybe a Ford, there's any owner that out there that really, really cares for their team. Hey, sue me if I'm wrong. I'm sure I am. Drop that comment below, as well as the subscribe and notify if you may. Rado will be proud. But the point is, it's a jungle out there. It's a business, and the owners have weighted it one way. The players have the right to fight for it. And here lately, QBs have not been getting a good run. Basically, since the last Rams QB that was drafted number one and went on to make an obscene amount of money with 4 different NFL teams, never really fulfilling, well, not really, never fulfilling any promise at any NFL stop. And now they're reticent to pay top money to QBs that still have rookie money or rookie time left. And we're talking the Cowboys, Dak Prescott. You're out there. We're talking Kirk Cousins, who went from one team to another because of this. We're talking what's more important, chemistry or the salary cap? Because the Dallas Cowboys famously blew away a golden opportunity with Dak Prescott on a rookie contract, and that gave them salary cap heaven, and they didn't do anything with it. They got one playoff win out of that whole bad. It just was a horrible experiment on how to go deep in the playoffs. They definitely raised their team's barometer insofar as talent and expectations, but did they do anything with it? No. So here you have another team, the Kansas City Chiefs, who took a rookie QB. They went to the Super Bowl, and they went all the way downtown, and now instead of like rocking with it and dacking with it and saying, you know what, we're just going to see how far we can push this rookie contract because we've got other players to sign. The football is a team sport, and we're going to make sure that everybody gets their money. And the blueprint for that, of course, is Tom Brady, who took less money for, and I see you're on here, Mr. McAllister. I bragged about you earlier. Tom Brady earlier set the standard for team, if you will, by taking less money so that the team could surround him with talent so that he had a better chance at winning Super Bowls. And now you have other guys like Dak Prescott, who's driving for every coin he can get. Ben Roethlisberger, same deal, every coin he can get. And it's not worked out well for these teams because fighting that salary cap devil is tough. And I've already come down and saying, look, I don't blame him. Get every coin you can get. This is a business. But from the team perspective, that's rough. You got to ride that rookie wave. And here we have Kansas City, Tom. And they have turned around and said, you know what? We realize you got a couple years left we could screw you with, but you know what? Here's 10 years more. And here's a ship pot full of money. And it is going to affect them down the road, but, actually not for this year. It's not really going to hurt them that much. What do you think about this, McAllister? And what does this bode for your New York Giants? Are they going to do something similar, or are they just going to get a new QB in about a year and a half?
I will say, since you referenced the New York Giants, the first person who brought Patrick Mahomes to my attention was their former head coach, Ben McAdoo, because Ben McAdoo wanted to trade up and get Patrick Mahomes for the heir apparent to be Eli Manning.
Well, now, hold on. Was that before he added all the gel to his hair?
It was before he had the gel to his hair.
Because once he added the gel, I mean, it's no good.
He lost it. He did better with, like, the big suit, kind of like the ending of the movie Big that's falling off.
Yeah, I agree. But go ahead.
But getting back to Patrick Mahomes, first off, I think his contract will end any threat of an economic recession in the United States, especially Kansas City. That's one. Two, when you look at Patrick Mahomes and the quarterback position, there have been quarterbacks who have had MVP seasons.
Right.
There have been quarterbacks who have won the Super Bowl. Very few of them have done that by the third season in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes has already, checked the two biggest boxes, and now he can compete not for greatest of his generation, but greatest of all time at the quarterback position. So if you're at the Kansas City Chiefs, you're like, you know what? Let's lock this guy up. The particulars are still coming out, and it's still cap friendly at this moment, so they can still build around them. Yeah. How do you feel about that, Van?
Well, when you said, I'm immensely thinking like Dan Marino can kiss my ass, because this guy, I have predicted that he was the next Dan Marino, because they were going to go out, he was going to do well, he was going to throw him in salary cap hell, and then it was going to go downhill. But no, he won, got him again to the Super Bowl. Got him to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, and now he's giving them a window to build down the road and do some juggling and this and that. And whereas by today's dollar, this looks immensely foolish, the salary cap does nothing but go up. So when you make these deals, they look foolish now, but Jerry Jones taught me this, man. Mm-hmm. Stephen Jones actually taught Jerry Jones, they both taught the Jones family that the salary cap goes up, and until it goes down, you got a bankroll on that, right?
That's absolutely true, because one of the items that keeps going up, like you mentioned, is whenever the NFL or professional sports organizations get a new TV contract, the players want, okay, you're getting more money, that means we're getting more money. And this is kind of something, too. You also got to look at the quarterback position. You can play into your 40s if you're good enough. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, those are two examples. And if you're Kansas City, you want Patrick Mahomes to play every game as a Kansas City Chief.
Okay, now hold on. At this point, I have to say, if you're an exceptional punter, kicker, exceptional, and you can't play into your 40s, you are just abusing your body. You are not taking care of business. You are not running your body as a temple. You're not running your body as a business. And you're screwing up, because today the science is out there on how you can get into the 40s at the elite level if you take care of your body. Yeah?
Yes, I totally agree, unless you're probably Steve Janikowski, but he went to the Raiders, so you kind of...
Again, you're not taking care of your body. Okay.
Yes. I think Adam Vinatieri still in the NFL? You can be, if you're a place kicker, that's one of the positions, it's almost recession proof. You just go out there, maybe have a few big kicks, and then, call it a day. But it does make sense too. The only, if you're the AFC West, how do you counter and build around that? If you're looking at it, let's say the Broncos, okay, how do we build our team going forward?
Actually, I like the Broncos situation. They're doing well. They think they have a QB. Their defense is getting better. You don't do anything different, I don't think. It's not like, all right, back in the day, if you were in the NFC East you had to figure out what to do about Lawrence Taylor. If you didn't have an answer for Lawrence Taylor, you didn't have an answer. Okay.
Yeah, and
That's just it.
Definitely don't put a bounty on Lawrence Taylor.
No, because you're going to lose that bet and a lot of money. Okay.
Yes. But
beyond that, so like, the Dallas Cowboys went and drafted Moose Johnson as a counterpoint to them. And it, I can't, as great as Moose Johnson was, I can't say that he neutralized him because nobody neutralized him.
Slow down, baby.
No, but he made a difference. He helped move the chess pieces around a little bit. So, but the point is, you had something, you went and you drafted for it, and you helped defeat it. For what the Chiefs are right now, you can't really draft to defeat it other than to have a defense like the 49ers. The 49ers came the closest to getting the job done. You need to get that front four, that front seven, actually, not front four, that can put pressure from at least 3 different areas, ideally 4. And then you have a shot. And plus, you got to stop the run. You got to stop the run. There you go.
I think defense is the first part. The second part is you're going to have a ball control offense.
Oh, I was getting ready to throw in. You have to run the ball as well. Yeah. Excuse me. I don't want to steal your glory. You came up with it live, so there you go.
You have to have the Bill Parcells 1990 offense where, you have the ball for about 40 minutes of the game. And, as great as Patrick Mahomes is, he can't score when he's off the field.
No, that was the best defense against Tom Brady. Any great quarterback, that is your best defense, is a ball control offense. Agreed?
Yes, it absolutely is. Keep them off the field. But it's also, the NFL has kind of gone away from that smash mouth style of play. It's not in vogue right now.
Yeah, but the Titans didn't really go away with it, and they went really far last year. So, it's still a viable thing. There's very few teams that go all in on it. Very few teams, which to me says that there's more available pieces. But on the other side, it comes from what talent you have. And in college right now, it used to be college was all about the wishbone. Then it was all about the option. Now it's all about the spread.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's all the passing right now. It is a passing game. But there are still a few guys. There's the great fullback that came out that right now I believe the 49ers have the best fullback in the game. There are a few guys out there at that position that make a difference. There are a few smash mouth guys. You got to go to the Titans for smash mouth offense right now. A few years ago, it was the Dallas Cowboys. Not anymore.
No, and I think San Francisco, they made it pretty close too. It's like
yes.
the San Francisco 49ers have the closest model to beating the Kansas City Chiefs, where you have that consistent ground game and that very good defense. It's just that
they did the job for most of the game.
Yeah, for about 3 quarters.
But there was that other quarter, so let's not talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, it's also scary how quickly Kansas City could put up points, but you also got to wonder, it's a copycat league. You just need one team to come up with the scheme to slow down Patrick Mahomes. I think.
Well, Baltimore.
Yes, with Lamar Jackson. Great.
And that defense. It can be done. It can be done. But let's make no mistake, no bones about it, if you will. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, and they should have that going for a year or two now.
They should, and it's also one, you got to wonder, will Mahomes stay healthy, because he did miss some games in 2019.
Look at what he did last season, though. He played hurt and was effective. He played hurt in the same game on the knee. Oh my goodness, I remember that. I saw that. My knee aches when I think of it. And that guy came back, and by the end of the season, by the 4th quarter of the last game of this season, I don't think there's any question that he was Patrick Mahomes. So, playing availability is a skill, right, Tom? We've talked about this. I think Mahomes proven he has that skill. So I'm not. You're right, but yeah, he's ticked that box, man.
I think he has, and now you got to wonder. He set himself up in a position where he can surpass Brady when it comes to greatest of all time. And he could put himself up there.
Yeah.
He could, because the one thing in the first.
Now, if he does that, what does that do for Reed?
Well, you also got to wonder how many years Andy Reid has left. He's about 62 right now.
How many sandwiches does he have left? Okay. Have you seen Andy Reid? He's not losing weight. Okay.
Yes. You got to wonder.
The big tuna. All right. I was getting ready to say they don't have coaches like that anymore. Oh, well, yeah, they really do. They got Andy Reid, man. They got Andy Reid.
He looks like one of the hogs.
Oh, man. He looks like maybe 1.5 of the hogs. Okay.
Well, did you ever see those videos from the punt, pass, and kick competition of Andy Reid when he was 10 years old that they would
Yes.
Oh, man, he sticks out like a sore thumb.
Have you seen the baby with the Andy Reid mustache, though?
I thought that was Andy Reid.
Touche. Anyhow, we agree that all right, here. We're talking about the contract. That is the subject of the day. It's a hell of a contract. And does it put an albatross around the neck of the Kansas City Chiefs? And before I say that, that's one of the weird sayings in American nomenclature. It's an albatross that, wait a minute, the albatross is a friend to captains, okay? But somehow that became a saying. The other thing is low man on the totem pole. Hey, man, the low man on the totem pole is a position of prestige. The guy with the least prestige is at the top of the totem pole, but we don't say that. So
well, I think with Mahomes' contract, you kind of mentioned a little bit about Dak Prescott's contract.
Yeah.
If you're Kansas City, you're like, whatever Dak gets, Mahomes is going to want more. So you have to go in, whatever, Lamar Jackson gets in Baltimore, Mahomes is going to want pretty much the same, if not more. So if you're Kansas City, you're like, know what? We're going to set the market for our guy right now when we can. We're not going to wait for
preemptive strike.
Yes. It's a preemptive strike. Like, Mahomes is our franchise guy. We're going to stick to him. He's won us the Super Bowl. So we're going to ride him for as long as he can. And he's still young, and if you're Mahomes, though, but let me ask you this question. Do you see this 10-year contract playing itself out?
Oh, yeah. In one shape, form, or another. Do I see him getting all 10 years of this contract? Of course not. It will be renegotiated and extended and changed and whatever, down the road. It's a vehicle. That's what contracts are now in the NFL. They are vehicles to get the player and the team down the road. Unlike in other sports, NBA, MLB, contracts are contracts. I actually like that because I think it's a lot more fair for the players. Right now, NFL contracts, well, this is a contract of whatever. How much guaranteed money is it? Real guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Okay. How much is that? That's all it's worth. The rest of it, we will see. But regardless of that, I think it was a hell of a move by the Kansas City front office. I give it I got 2 thumbs. I'm giving both of them up. What about you?
I think right now it's a good deal. There really is nothing Mahomes hasn't done in the NFL from the quarterback position. It makes total sense. And in a way, it screws up the rest of the league. Because
did they step on some dicks? Pardon me. Sorry for all the kids listening, but they stepped on some gonads there, man. I mean, they jumped out. Nobody expected this, did they?
No, they totally went out and were like, yeah, oh, you're negotiating with your quarterback? Oh, here's our deal.
Okay, I'm signing.
Yeah. The only thing is, though, too, I did read this week, I think the last NFL player to sign a 10-year contract was Drew Bledsoe in 2001
snap.
With New England.
So does this mean the Cowboys are going to get a new quarterback in a couple of years? I'm just saying.
I don't know. And then get replaced by Tony Romo from Southern Illinois. It's like, that was the one thing. Once I read that contract, I'm like, oh man, out of all the times, like Drew,
All right. Well, look, enough NFL. What about some 5-star recruits? I heard some rumors that you had some info about this shit.
Yes. So, there kind of were rumblings about some of the top basketball prospects who are going to go to HBCUs, which are historically Black colleges and universities.
Correct.
A few weeks ago, Nate Tabor, who is a former St. John's commit, he actually committed to Norfolk State, he's a 4-star recruit, which kind of opened up some eyes. Okay, this is new. And then this week, Maker, brother Thom Maker, who plays in the NBA, he committed to Howard University, and he's a 5-star recruit.
Howard?
Yes. So you have 2 top 100 recruits going to HBCU.
They are top guys.
So you have to wonder, will this be a trend going forward?
I'd love to see it. I'm jumping in both feet. I would love to freaking see it, man. I mean, back in the day, Grambling was like the school nobody talked about, where they would slide guys off from time to time once they started using Black athletes in the NFL. Now we can see Black colleges who have historically just struggled doing what they can as they can. And if these athletes would commit, to me, this is instead of just going and saying, you know what, we're going to take a bunch of us and make an NFL championship, an NBA championship. Why not go ahead and give back to your community, give back to why not help make change?
Mm-hmm.
Why not help make change? And that's a hell of a thing to ask to somebody, because they're taking money out of their pocket potentially. I'm sure their agents have told them, like, look, if you go here, you do this, you get a better shoe deal.
They're handlers.
Ooh, handlers. They don't have agents. You're right.
They have handlers.
And I'm starting to get pissed off, so I don't want to get too deep.
I mean, I totally agree with you. And I think in a way it's
I think athletes are abused. So I'm really angry about this subject.
I think this is something where my only concern is, like, I kind of don't want the one and done players coming.
No.
I think it would totally shift the dynamic, because I think there's a few universities that everyone thinks, like, whatever they do, it doesn't stink. Oh, trust me, they're just as dirty as you are.
Okay. Duke what?
Yeah. I don't know who, as I'm wearing blue today, would do it where their fans think they have done wrong. An
admitted UNC fan from long days. Now UNC is now in the pool with schools that have that UCLA heritage, if you will.
Yeah, and it's kind of, well, the one thing at least North Carolina can say is they had Dean Smith. And I think Dean Smith was
under Dean Smith, they were clean.
And Dean Smith participated in sit-ins in the 1960s.
Yeah, under Dean Smith, which, again, that's what I am. I'm a Dean Smith fan. That's when I was doing the thing. But under them, supposedly, everything I've read, they were clean. Krzyzewski, who's a coach I've always admired, I don't think there's any doubt that his program is not clean at this point.
I think, well, it's also
it's like Wooden. It's like Wooden, UCLA. Love the story. It's bullshit. It was a dirty program, ground up, dirty program.
Yeah, I read how Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the reason why he's from New York, everyone's pushing. I think St. John's got rid of their coach, and Jabbar's like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to go out to UCLA. But it's also too, I think Tarkanian, we might have mentioned this last week, where, the NCAA is so mad at Kentucky, they're going to ban Cleveland State. But also too, with this stuff going on and people talking about tearing down statues of Robert E. Lee, is there another historical basketball powerhouse which has to worry about its history? It's Kentucky. Why is that? Adolph Rupp, the arena is named after, and he was a staunch segregationist.
That guy still is, and he's been dead how long?
Yeah.
He still is. He comes up every year just to make sure everybody knows.
Yeah. And it's kind of one of the things too.
My family is from Harlan County, Kentucky, in case anybody didn't know. And my dad was a dyed-in-the-wool Kentucky fan. And Kentucky was one of my top teams that I really enjoyed. But I never enjoyed Adolph Rupp history thing. I had a disassociation with racism and a big segment of my family from a very early time. And so I kind of went a different way in a lot of areas. Basketball was one of them. Mm-hmm. So it ended up being like it was. There is not a kind of a thing there. I mean, Adolph Rupp, he's a freaking animal. Mm-hmm. He's disgusting.
He's someone too where it's like, they're tearing things down. And there has been a lot of times, especially in college sports, where if you win enough, people will forgive you for the sins you have committed, Penn State, and they will totally and utterly forget about it.
Stole it from me, dude. I was going to say, they tore his statue down, yeah?
I thought, no, they erected another one, I think. Totally forgot. So this is one thing you got to wonder is like, all right, this is great, but, it's also this. I also want to see too, like what are
I'm
the
ashamed. I love the history of Kentucky. There's so many good stories there of but when I say the history of Kentucky, I'm talking about the basketball team and mm-hmm. the pageantry, the stories of the championships that they won. But when you delve deeply into them and really look at what was going on, the pride goes away. It's disgusting. It is disgusting.
It's also, I think Kentucky was one of the border states, which pretty much was
technically a neutral state in the Confederacy.
Well, it was Kentucky stayed in the Union, but they didn't get rid of slavery.
They were technically a neutral state.
Yeah.
However, I do remember that at a certain point when I was growing up, they were forced to change the state anthem. This is mm-hmm. when I was growing up, okay? Mm-hmm. I ain't that old. And it was due to the line about the darkies rolling around on the floor. Darkies? Are you kidding me? This is in the state song? That's worse than the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
It's brutal, man.
I think the NFL, because or other pro sports, baseball kind of dealt with the race issue first with Jackie Robinson, as Jackie Robinson broke the color barriers 7 or 8 years.
What that man had to put up with. And, I actually watched a woman the other day. Okay, we're sitting here talking about race. I'll dive into it. Okay. All right. For people listening, okay. I'll make this short and sweet. How many races are there in the world? How many people out there are biracial? Okay. None of you. I am a fated Black person. We are all cousins. We all came from the same mother, father at a certain point, and they were Black. Now, some of us moved further away from the equator, and our pigmentation went away. That doesn't make us a different race. We are the same race. It is the human race. There's only one race. That's it. Done with my speech.
Yes. Now, if we can just get back to hating each other for what sport teams we root for.
Oh, darn it. I said we weren't going to talk about this kind of stuff. All right. But yeah, exactly. Back. Hey, I tell you what, let's get back to some real hatred. Cowboys and Giants. Okay. What's going to happen this season? Let's close this thing up.
NFC East.
NFC East. Which team is going to have the leg up? And I'm going to break it down for you. Running game. Which team's going to be the best in the running game? Ooh.
That one's going to be an interesting one, to say the least, because if you're the Cowboys, I also think, too, Saquon Barkley's kind of running up on his – Saquon Barkley hopefully has an offensive line in front of him this year for the first time in a deep –
in his history, in his NFL history.
Yes.
And effective, maybe not good, but an effective offensive line.
But a hell of a lot better offensive line.
Well, he's got nowhere to go but up. Okay.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. Even though Saquon Barkley, it's just like like we mentioned before, he has the Barry Sanders where he'll have that 62-yard run and one carry, and then all the other carries are kind of like that. He needs to develop that slow, grinded out, consistent 4 to 6 yards.
Which team's going to have it? I don't want to hear about the Giants. I want to hear the NFC East. Which team is going to have the best running attack?
I'll say this. I'll go with Saquon Barkley. I might be a little biased, but they got a new offense, and you got to think, if you're Jason Garrett, you want the ball in the hands of your best playmaker, which is Saquon Barkley, if he stays healthy. Ezekiel Elliott, too, he got COVID-19. We don't know the long-term effects of that. You know, his contract situation could be a little, you know, so he might want to go to
I don't think you even have to go there, man. Okay? Look at their new head coach. When did his running backs ever lead the league? Okay, moving on. All right? He's not wed to the run. All right? He's not. He's not going to push it. He's not going to go for there. That is not his thing. Cowboys are not going to do that. To me, it's down to two teams between the Giants and the Redskins, because the Redskins have Rivera, and he likes to run. Okay?
Yes.
He does. And he's got a lot of running back. He has a guy named Peterson. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, but you also got to wonder, too, did Peterson have his resurgence, and is he going to fall back?
Is he given the opportunity? It's just a matter of the opportunity. The guy can do it. It's just a matter of, wow, do I want to give this younger running back a chance? That's all. Okay, but to me, I'm agreeing with you. Giants.
Mm-hmm. I also
Giants should have the number one NFC rushing attack. Now, passing attack. Boom.
I mean, I would say this. Carson Wentz, one, can't stay healthy, doesn't have any legit wide receivers. And
We're talking
Jackson,
about the team, not the quarterback.
You know, I would say team. Philly, I got to go with the no. I might have to go with Dallas, you know, because they have, when you look at the receiving core, solid receiving core. Dak Prescott is probably the most he's the one who stays healthy. The worst thing that ever happened for Carson Wentz was the Eagles winning the Super Bowl because he was hurt during that. And that's something that he won't be able to get off his back. And
because he's never going to get a ring. Never.
Nope. Washington, who's going to be their quarterback? You know,
I actually like their QB if they can work an offense around him and give him time to learn. He's got talent, but I think you nailed it. And for the same reason that we discussed the other question about the running attack, boom. This head coach at Dallas likes passing, and boy, does he have the talent in the passing game. Yeah. So I think that's a given. Okay, now I'm going to throw a wild card at you before we end the show, and this is really weird. Best special teams, because as we all know, you have to win 2 of the 3 phases of the game to win. And special teams is one of the 3 phases. Is there a winner? Is there a loser? Do you know somebody's going to do bad? What do you have to say about special teams in the NFC East?
I got to throw the Giants out because their place kicker got into trouble again, which is kind of a reoccurring theme.
Me too. I was never mind. Yeah.
I was going to say this too. I mean, if you're the Cowboys, you could maybe put CeeDee Lamb back there to maybe kick returns. You know, just give him the ball and all that stuff. I would probably go with, you know, Philly. I'm not sure about Philly. It's kind of a toss-up. I might have to go with Dallas for special teams.
I think Redskins have that insane talent along their defensive linebacker core that gives them the ability on special teams that is just going to like shine. But I don't think it's going to, you know, because that's going to give them one of the 3 phases because they're going to lose on offense and defense. So it's not really going to translate for them. And I agree with you. I think Dallas, because they went out of their way, they hired a fantastic special teams coach, and they got a lot of talent. You know, they've sucked in special teams lately. The Giants are another team that I think could do really well because they have so many guys that are going to be crazy-eyed trying to make the team. Yeah. And isn't that special teams?
Well, I think it's also, too, when you look at Gettleman, you can kind of see the plan. His plan was to build up the offensive line, and he also built up the secondary. He has invested a lot of picks in the secondary. Whether they go out and commit armed robbery, it's all up to interpretation.
Who knows?
Who knows? We don't know that. But they definitely had a plan. So you got to wonder, too, could they maybe grab someone from the secondary position and put them in kick returns? also a lot of those secondary guys become coverage teams.
Right.
That could be the difference between pinning the team down at the 1 to a touchback. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. It's just I'm not confident in the Giants place kicker.
All right. Well, that's it. Everybody watching, be sure and follow Tom McAllister there on Twitter at defends_com. It's on the other side, Tom. On the other side. I have no idea. On our screens, it changes. Yeah. All right. And you'll find me on Twitter at Stephen Vanover, just like it's spelled. No big deal. And be sure to follow Sports Talk Line. Be sure to follow this channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notify so that you know what's coming on. And thank you so much for being here. Tom, welcome back from your hiatus out there. You're fighting the good fight, and COVID-19 no longer grounds zero.
Nope.
I believe that's either in California, Texas, or Florida now. They're vying for supremacy.
Yes. You can take that title.
It's a title I don't want, my friend. It's a title I do not want. But I do want is everybody listening out there, thank you so much for being here on the de facto NFC East reports, which is what it is when me and Tom are talking. Okay. Mm-hmm. But also as we talk about the fantastic Patrick Mahomes, damn is he exciting. We appreciate you being here. And until next time, listen, like you play with intensity. Oh, Tom, we did it. We got another one in the bag.
There we go.
Dude, welcome back, man. Have you been hearing anything there? Like, come on, the Yankees going to play anytime this year?
Well, there was they had, I don't know if you saw it, the big news. They played like an inter-squad game yesterday.
Right.
A few days before, Giancarlo Stanton hit a line drive off Tanaka's face.
Boom.
Apparently the ball was going 115 miles per hour.
Yeah, but I mean, it hit him in the head.
Still, it's a little, it's still scary.
Dude, that is freaking, I mean, the blood just blew up.
Well, they said
I saw a good video on it, and it just like, boom. The worst one of those I saw was, oh gosh, what's the guy? He plays for the Angels now. Used to play for St. Louis, the big power hitter. Come on, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Pujols. So Pujols is coming back on a Dodger pitcher. And, excuse me, not Dodgers, Padre pitcher. And the San Diego, they've always kept a series of power, arm guys down there that just come in and throw, a zillion miles an hour. And this guy went on to have a pretty good career. But he threw like, 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And Pujols put it right back on his bean. And his face just exploded, man. It just fucking exploded. And there's no way that guy's wife ever recognized that guy again.
No, and it's also, too, a lot of it with the pitchers, it's the psychological impact.
Oh, that guy for about a year and a half, he just wasn't right.
Yeah, and that's something, too. Like, it takes time, not the physical stuff, but from, the psychological.
Yeah, can you totally let it go all the way through knowing that is coming back at you possibly?
Yeah.
I mean, just, whoa, dude. He just, oh, man. And, that is why, if anybody is still watching or listening, I don't know in case this is going out, we'll be sure not to slam heroin right now. Okay. Well, at least I will. I don't know about you, Tom. Okay. But in the non-professional sports, they try to restrict the use of aluminum bats because the rebound speed off of those bats is too fast for the pitchers to react, correct?
Yeah, and I think, too, like, don't be surprised if eventually down the line they'll start John Olerud wore a helmet, former first baseman for the Blue Jays, Mets, even had a stint with the Yankees. John Olerud wore a helmet when he was in the field.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if pitchers start doing that.
That San Diego pitcher, he hit him right in the freaking nose, man. It just blew his shit up. You could wear a helmet all you want. I mean, to me, it's a matter of restricting the like with the aluminum bats, they're supposed to make them to where they don't rebound the ball but at a certain pace. And they can do that. They can make them with the softness or hardness, however you want to gauge that. And I'm sure they can do the same thing with wood bats. I mean, I know they can put, Super Balls in them. That seems to help, So, yeah, they can do things.
Yeah.
Pick the type of wood they're made out of. I mean, Well, when you have a guy like Pujols, who is, they abuse the term freak of nature, but man, have you stood next to that guy? I have. I stood right next to him in an elevator. And
there's enough room for you?
Oh, well, let me help you out. I wasn't spreading out, okay? I was like, ooh. Dude, I mean, he is an impressive individual and nice a guy as could be. I mean, just pleasant and just get out of the way and just like so, it made me think a thing that John Madden, in an interview I saw a long time ago with him. And it was like him, he was really good. He was an offensive lineman himself, back in the day. And he was famous for coaching. He was an offensive line coach before he became a head coach.
Yeah.
And he was saying, teaching offensive linemen aggressiveness is one of the most difficult thing in the world. And he says, think about it. You're 6'7", close to 300 pounds. You ask for something, people give it to you.
Yeah.
You're not aggressive because nobody gives you any shit. You don't have to be aggressive. And what he did is he took his offensive lineman, he put him in a room and told him to have a pillow fight. He said, it all starts off nice. And then all of a sudden, somebody gets in a good lick. Okay. And then, it's on. And you find out, he said he would just watch. And then he'd find out who his guys were going to be and who to cut from the pillow fight.
I think they tried something like that at Penn State, but it turned out.
Yeah. They ended up turning around and going to the shower. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
But so I mean, aggressiveness in big men is definitely an issue. Obviously, it wasn't for Pujols. He's definitely aggressive on the ball, and obviously, it wasn't a problem for certain linemen in the NFL who can turn it on, turn it off, as they walk up the field. And but that's the thing. When you're that big, I mean, what reason do you have to be aggressive?
None.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you look at somebody and go, I like your jacket. They're going like, yeah, here, take it.
Here you go.
Yeah, it's three sizes too small
okay.
for me. That's okay. Yeah, take it anyhow.
Oh, no, what? Let me go out and buy the one in your size. Triple XL?
Yeah, I'll be back. You wait here.
Just wait here. Don't go anywhere. Here's my girlfriend. New York.
You know how that works. Okay, yeah, exactly.
Here's my girlfriend.
Twice. Yeah, man, it's an ugly world out there, man. But really big guys, they have an easy way of it in a certain aspect. They also have it not because people expect them to be a certain way, and that's not an easy thing to deal with. That's not an easy thing to deal with. So, dude, I assume we're out of here because Lee hasn't come on and told us no. So,
guess we're good. All right, so I guess I'll see you next week then.
All right, man. And by the way, I know you're busy as fuck, okay? But I want a Giants off-season article, please.
Okay. I'll see. It's been a while since I
and maybe not an all-encompassing one. Just pick one spot, one aspect.
Gotcha. All right.
But we need that. We need that because I'm actually thinking about doing the NFC East show. We've got you. We got me. Now we need a Redskin guy and an Eagles guy. Okay, so I mean, now admittedly, you can find a few Eagles guys, but Redskin guys are hard to come by. So if you know any.